Chapter 19, Part 2. This wasn't supposed to happen. The choking was just supposed to freak people out and get them confused, not panic them into a stampede. There were screams now, screams I recognized all too well from the night in Dolores Park. That was the sound of people who were scared spitless, running into each other as they tried like heck to get away. And then the air raid sirens began. I hadn't heard that sound since the bombs went off, but I would never forget it. It sliced through me, turning my legs into jelly. It made me want to run away in a panic. I got to my feet, red cap on my head, thinking of only one thing: Angie. Angie and the founder's statue where we would meet. Everyone was on their feet now, running in all directions, screaming. I pushed people out of my way, holding on to my pack and my hat, heading for founder's statue. Masha was looking for me. I was looking for Angie. Angie was out there. I pushed and cursed, elbowed someone. Someone came down on my foot so hard I felt something go crunch, and I shoved him, so he went down. He tried to get up, and someone stepped on him. I shoved and pushed. Then I reached out my arm to shove someone else, and strong hands grabbed my wrist and my elbow in one fluid motion and brought my arm back around behind my back. It felt like my shoulder was about to wrench out of his socket, and I instantly doubled over, hollering, a sound that was barely audible over the din of the crowd, the thrum of the choppers, the wail of the sirens. I was brought back upright by the strong hands behind me, which steered me like a marionette. The hold was so perfect, I couldn't even think of squirming. I couldn't think of the noise or the helicopter or Angie. All I could think of was moving the way the person who had me wanted me to move. I was brought around so that I was face to face with the person. It was a girl whose face was sharp and rodent like, half hidden by a giant pair of sunglasses. Over the sunglasses, a mop of bright pink hair. You! I said. I knew her. She was the girl who had taken a picture of me at Harajuku Fun Madness and threatened to rat me out to truant watch all that time ago. That had been 5 minutes before the alarm started. She'd been the one, ruthless and cunning. We'd both run from that spot in the Tenderloin as the klaxon sounded behind us, and we'd both been picked up by the cops. I'd been hostile, and they decided I was an enemy. She, Masha, became their ally. Hello, Maggie, she hissed in my ear, close as a lover. A shiver went up my back. She let go of my arm, and I shook it out. I said, You! Yes, me, she said. The gas is going to come down in about 2 minutes. Let's move it. Angie, my girlfriend, is by the founder's statue. Masha looked over the crowd. No chance, she said. We'll try to make it there. You're doomed. The gas is coming down in 2 minutes in case you missed it the first time. I stopped moving. I don't go without Angie, I said. She shrugged. Suit yourself, she shouted in my ear. Your funeral. She began to push through the crowd, moving away north toward downtown. I continued to push for the founder's statue. A second later, my arm was back in a terrible lock, and I was being swung around and propelled forward. You know too much, buddy, she said. You've seen my face now. You're coming with me. I screamed at her, struggled, till it felt like my arm would break, but she was pushing me forward. My sore foot, that I hurt before, was agony. With every step, my shoulder felt like it would break. With her using me as a battering ram, we made good progress through the crowd. The whine of the helicopters changed, and she gave me a harder push. Run, she yelled. Here comes the gas. The crowd noise changed too. The choking sounds and scream sounds got much, much louder. I'd heard that pitch of sound before. We were back in the park. The gas was raining down. I held my breath and ran. We cleared the crowd, and she let go of my arm. I shook it out. I limped as fast as I could up the sidewalk, and the crowd thinned and thinned. We were headed toward a group of DHS cops with riot shields and helmets and masks. As we drew near them, they moved to block us. But Masha held up a badge, and they melted away like she was Obi-Wan Kenobi, saying, These aren't the droids you're looking for. As we sped up Market Street, I said, We have to go back for Angie. She pursed her lips and shook her head. I feel for you, buddy. I haven't seen my boyfriend in months. He probably thinks I'm dead. Fortunes of war. We'll go back for your Angie. You're dead. If we push on, we have a chance. So long as we have a chance, she has a chance. Those kids aren't all going to get one. They'll probably take a few hundred in for questioning and send the rest home. We were moving up Market Street now, past the strip joints where the bums and the junkies sat, stinking like open toilets. Masha guided me to a little alcove in front of one of the strip places. She took off her jacket and turned it inside out. The lining was a muted stripe pattern, and with the jacket's seams reversed, it hung differently. She produced a wool hat from her pocket and pulled it over her hair, letting it form a jaunty off-center peak. Then she took out some makeup remover wipes and went to work on her face and fingernails. In a minute, she was a different woman. Wardrobe change, she said. Now you. Lose the shoes, lose the jacket, lose the hat. I could see her point. The cops would be looking very carefully at anyone who looked like they'd been part of Vent Mob. I ditched the hat entirely. I'd never liked ball caps. Then I jammed the jacket into my pack and got out a long-sleeved tee with a picture of Rosa Luxemburg and pulled it over my black tee. I let Masha wipe my makeup off and clean my nails, and a minute later, I was clean. Switch off your phone, she said. You carrying any ARFIDs? I had my student card, my ATM card, my FastPass. They all went into a silvered bag she held out, which I recognized was a radio-proof Faraday pouch. But as she put them in her pocket, I realized I'd just turned my ID over to her. If she was on the other side? The magnitude of what had just happened began to sink in. In my mind, I pictured having Angie with me at this point. Angie would make it 2 against 1. Angie would help me see if there was something amiss, if Masha wasn't all she said she was. Put these pebbles in your shoes before you put them on. It's okay. I sprained my foot. No gait recognition program will spot me now. She nodded once, one pro to another, and slung her pack. I picked up mine, and we moved. The total time for the changeover was less than a minute. We looked and walked like two different people. She looked at her watch and shook her head. Come on, she said. We have to make our rendezvous. Don't think of running either. You've got 2 choices now, me or jail. They'll be analyzing the footage from that mob for days, but once they're done, every face in it will go in a database. Our departure will be noted. We are both wanted criminals now. She got us off Market Street on the next block, swinging back into the Tenderloin. I knew this neighborhood. This is where we had gone hunting for an open Wi-Fi access point back in the day, playing Harajuku Fun Madness. Where are we going? I said. We're about to catch a ride, she said. Shut up and let me concentrate. We moved fast, and sweat streamed down my face, from under my hair, coursed down my back. My foot was really hurting, and I was seeing the streets of San Francisco race by, maybe for the last time ever. It didn't help that we were plowing straight uphill, moving for the zone where the seedy Tenderloin gives way to the nosebleed real estate values of Nob Hill. My breath came in ragged gasps. She moved us mostly up narrow alleys, using the big streets just to get from one alley to the next. We were just stepping into one such alley, Sabin Place, when someone fell in behind us and said, "Freeze right there!" It was full of evil mirth. We stopped and turned around. At the mouth of the alley stood Charles, my bully from Chavez High School, wearing a half-hearted vamp mob outfit of black t-shirt and jeans and white face paint. "Hello, Marcus," he said. "You going somewhere?" He smiled a huge, wet grin. "Who's your girlfriend?" "What do you want, Charles?" "Well, I've been hanging out on that traitorous XNet ever since I spotted you giving out DVDs at school. When I heard about Vamp Mob, I thought I'd go along and hang around the edges, just to see if you showed up and what you did. You know what I saw?" I said nothing. He had his phone in his hand, pointed at us, recording, maybe ready to dial 911. Beside me, Masha had gone stiff as a board. "I saw you leading it, and I recorded it, Marcus. So now I'm going to call the cops, and we're going to wait right here for them. And then you're going to go to maximum security prison for a long, long time." Masha stepped forward. "Stop right there, chickie," he said. "I saw you get him away. I saw it all." She took another step forward and snatched the phone out of his hand, reaching behind her with the other hand and bringing it out, holding a wallet open. "DHS," she said. "I'm DHS. I've been running this twerp back to his masters to see where he went. I was doing that. Now you've blown it. We have a name for that. We call it obstruction of national security. You're about to hear that phrase a lot more often." Charles took a step backward, his hands held up in front of him. He'd gone even paler under his makeup. "What? No! I mean, I didn't know. I was trying to help." "The last thing we need," said Masha, "is a bunch of high school junior G-men helping. You can tell it to the judge." He moved back again, but Masha was fast. She grabbed his wrist and twisted him into the same judo hold she'd had me in back at Civic Center. Her hand dipped back to her pockets and came out holding a strip of plastic, a zip tie handcuff strip, which she quickly wound around his wrists. That was the last thing I saw as I took off running.